Welcome back into the Daft on Draft podcast. We are happy that you are back. We're here to talk about some more offensive tackles, Dalton and I. So, we talked about five big ones earlier in the week. We did a mock draft. We're here to talk about five, mm, we'll see, offensive tackles today. Before we get started, though, if you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're listening to Apple, Spotify, please do your thing and subscribe in there as well. Leave us a review. Do what you got to do. But Dalton, before we dive in here, I got to know how's life in Pennsylvania? You're like what, a weekend now?
Yes. So we are actually almost 2 weeks in now. We came back on the 1st. It's now the 13th, and we are leaving tomorrow. We are going to Ocean City, Maryland, for about 10 days. Just getting
Ooh,
away. We need it, man. We need to get out. We just need to go. When we come back and we do anything like this, when we come back for a long trip to the United States, it's just like being pulled in every different direction possible. And so we're burnt out already. We need a break. And so we're going to take a little break. We found an opening. We're taking it. And we're going to be there for a while by ourselves. And then my parents are going to come down. We're going to have a crossover for 3 or 4 days. And then we'll come back and they'll stay down there. So it's going to be nice walking around the beach again. It's going to feel like home again. And we're going to do some searching because that's eventually where we want to settle down.
yeah. I was gonna ask, is there apartment searching going on while you're there? Yeah,
There
that's
will there will be condo looking and neighborhood searching and driving around slowly. Hopefully, we don't get pulled over by security or police down there. But we are definitely going on a fact finding mission while also having fun and relaxing a little bit.
that's the best way to do it. Best way to do it. All right. Well, let's get into this, Dalton. Let's do this. So, where do you want to start? We didn't talk about any sort
I
of
want
order.
to. We need
Let's
to.
let.
We need to start with the two elephants, or at
Okay,
least the
I'm
one
I'm
real
curious
elephant.
who your second elephant is. I know who one elephant is because it's my elephant too. I'm curious about the second one. Yeah, let's start with the first elephant here, though. I think we get to a point where we give prospects at certain positions certain luxuries based on the players who have come before them at said schools. Iowa is one of those schools who has produced a lot of NFL offensive linemen. Jennings Dunker is not one of them.
And there are a lot of Jennings Dunker fans out there. There
Uh,
are a lot of them.
yeah, there is a certain analytics company that has him graded as the best offensive tackle in the nation, and based on what would be my question, but I, is there a trait you hang your hat on here? Like, is there something?
I d No. No, like,
I think
legitimately, I have nothing.
I think
And
maybe when he
I need to
explodes
preface this.
out.
I need to preface this by saying I absolutely hate, I loathe having to be mean or
Yes.
sounding mean about a prospect, about a young man trying his
Right.
best to live his dream of being an NFL player. Personally, I saw absolutely zero evidence that Jennings Dunker is an NFL player, and it was so bad that I had to stop watching the Ohio State game. I just had to stop. He had
There's some people who
absolutely
say
no answer for Jack Sawyer.
on the outside shoulder even, which is brutal because Jack Sawyer is stiff as a board. Um, there's some people who say like, well, move him into guard and he would be like a kick-ass guard, but like the issue is his anchor is almost non-existent as well. So you kick him inside, he's still going to get blown back into his quarterback. So yeah, trying to be as nice as possible. There are a short list of players that I've watched this summer who come in below him on my big board. Uh, it, it, I think that's all we really got to say. I mean, his pass set is ugly. He does like a breaststroke with his arms when he's setting, which is like it really upsets me. Maybe it shouldn't upset me. Maybe that's a me thing, but like, or he does like a butterfly stroke with his arms in his pass set that just like really bothers me. But there's a lot more to it than that as well. But yeah, Jennings Dunker will not be a top 10 offensive tackle. Maybe that's a dafter draft for a later day, but pretty easy draft from our opinion. So who's the second elephant that you have? Because I There
I
are like some bad ones, but the one that you is it the
it's
one
gonna
that you
be
texted
different.
me about
Yeah, it's gonna be
off
different.
air?
It's gonna be
Okay,
different. It's Boston College's, Jude Bowie.
interesting.
Um,
Because I would
I
take him over probably all but one of the guys that we watched for today.
you would be wrong, but that's okay. Um, I watched Louisville, North Carolina, and Pittsburgh. Strengths: good spacing with the offensive guard, properly passes off defensive line games. I think he's really assignment sound. I think he's got good spatial awareness. No issues passing off stunts, to run the interior defenders up the arc. Mirrors well to defend the arc. And he's not got by interior counters like spins, swims, hero step rips, things like that. He's good on the inside. Inside hand's good. Um, Grip strength is not there. Um,
Hmm.
Reactive hands are underwhelming. Colin Rucker long armed him into oblivion early in the UNC game. Lacking knee bend leads to issues maintaining half man relationship versus pre contact, like shimmy shakes, Euro steps, things like that,
Mhm.
going to the outside. Beat to the outside shoulder against any sort of decent hands whatsoever. He's too passive and willing to swing open the door instead of cutting off and actually striking with his outside hand. He struggles to sit down versus speed to power, and that is especially problematic when dealing with space, like what we saw with Jordan Morgan. Why Jordan Morgan is now a guard at the NFL level. My summary on this, all of it, was in all caps. And again, I do not like to be mean, but I have to also be transparent. After watching 3 games, in all caps, stinks out loud.
Yeah, you were a little more brutal than I am because I would take him over all but one of the guys we watched today. To me, Jude Bowie, I still have a day 3 grade on him. To me, he was a master of none. So like almost every trade across the board, I had like, well, like average. Like I think he's pretty average across the board. And to me, average is like because I'm thinking average in terms of like every player that would declare for the NFL draft. So average for me is a 5th round pick. Like that is an average NFL draft prospect at the top of the bell curve is a 5th round pick. And so to me, I put a 5th round grade on him. I saw a master of none, but like I thought his base was pretty good. He got out a little bit when he tries to punch a little early, but like for the most part, I thought his base was pretty even over his hips. I thought his spacing when climbing to the second level and his pacing for that matter was pretty good. He wasn't getting there too early, wasn't too late. I thought I saw a bit of hip torque as well when he was able to get into some guys. I do have a note here, like he's best when he jump sets though. So like, is there guard potential with Bowery here? Um, but I do have a lot of the same negatives as well. I actually saw an active outside hand, so like the ability to reset that outside hand. But I have down negligible grip strength, high pad level, not a ton of power in his punch, weird balance in the run game, soft inside shoulder, and his feet just kind of stop when he's redirecting, trying to redirect back inside.
I'm interested
Um,
because we have 2 really big differences there with the outside and the inside. Which games did you watch compared to which games I watched?
I watched Syracuse and I watched SMU.
Okay,
So I
yeah.
wanted to watch
I
guys like draftable edge rushers that he played. So
again,
Elijah Roberts, Fadil Diggs.
we watched different
Yeah.
teams. We watched
Yeah.
different games. He he
Mhm.
got he got his ass beat against Louisville and North Carolina.
Yeah. So to me, he was like average to slightly, maybe a little below average for every single trait. Like he didn't wow me, but it wasn't like I felt like he was a complete liability either across the board. So to me, I put a 5th round grade on him right at that like mid 5th round mark, right at that average mark. I would take him over the other 2 guys that I mean, let's go because we brought it up at the beginning. I'll move this conversation next to another player who has gotten the benefit of the doubt because of the helmet he wears and the offensive tackles that have come before him. Caleb Tiernan is nowhere close to the tiers of Rashawn Slater or Peter Skoronski. I think he gets that
No,
benefit of the doubt.
nobody's saying that he is, right?
No, but
Nobody's
like
saying that he is.
no, I've seen some people say he's the next Northwestern offensive tackle, which is
Well, he
uh
is.
I mean, the next in the line of those guys, and it's like, what tape are you watching? For one, he's got 32-inch arms. shows up pretty big. 2, I think his feet are blocks. I think his feet are like cinder blocks. There's a lot more that I could go to. Tiernan's another guy where I think a move to guard would be okay. Last episode we talked about like, oh yeah, we don't want to move any of these guys to guards, and I started off by saying 2 straight guys I want to move to guard here, because I do see a noticeable anchor when he is in 1-to-1 relationship with the man across from him. So when he does have that full man responsibility, I do see a pretty decent anchor, but he's getting beat outside shoulder, and that's because he's flat backed AF. Like he plays completely flat backed. He's punching early, so he's way out over his hips a lot. I think getting beat along the outside shoulder a lot. Again, negligible punch, no real power profile to his game. So I didn't really love a whole lot about Tiernan either.
Okay,
In this one.
we disagree big time on that last point that you just made.
Okay, that's fine. To me, he's more of like I'm going to get my hips right, and I'm just going to try to wall off a run lane before before my balance gives out.
Okay, yeah, that is not what I saw. I saw a very naturally powerful player, evident early and often versus Ohio State. He was
See,
consistently
well, that's one of the games I watched.
shocking 44 with his strike in pass pro.
I
I
thought
think
he was
he's
whipping
got
a lot.
I think he's got impressive grip strength, spacing and awareness versus games looks good. I thought that he had strong knee bend and a good base
Interesting, man.
power through
I
the
thought he was
chest.
very flat back.
But listen, he is not athletic at all, and he
No.
has short arms. And so you are absolutely correct there. Very lackluster mirroring ability, and that's the thing. Like I watched Michigan, I watched Ohio State. Clear issues against speed on the outside. Clear issues against speed on the outside. Man, he is an absolute finisher. He is a dog. He wants to kick
Oof.
your ass. That is what I saw. That is what I saw. To me, I saw a good football player who is anatomically short-armed and a bad athlete. And that is a guy who I might take to be a swing offensive lineman late on day 3.
Yeah. Okay. I think we could. That might be one we're just we're going to be a little different on there because I thought I thought for one he was throwing his hands real early and giving up targets pretty consistently. But I thought when he was landing punches, like I didn't see
His left hand is weak.
much of
His
any
left hand
impact
is
there.
absolutely weak. I agree with that. But if he got both his hands on you, he was not moving. And that's what you said too. The
Yeah,
anchor
if
is
he's in
absolutely
1-to-1 relationship, yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah, yeah. I did see that. So again, another guy, maybe a move to guard, better set there where he's not forced to strain in his set, things like that with his base. All right. Austin Barber's another guy from Florida that has a lot of love in the community, a lot of love in the draft community. He is the exact mold of offensive tackles that I don't like. Like, and that might be a little bit of bias in my evaluation here as well, but like tall, lumbering dudes, like almost fee fi fo fumish kind of body types. He's almost 6 foot. He's like 6'6" and 7/10. Like they're like I think he's like almost 6'7", like 313. He's very tall, and I think that shows up in his leverage. He gives up his chest a lot. I think his hands are really wide too, so giving up his chest a lot there. I thought I saw. I mean, I saw some balance issues. He's on the ground a lot because dudes are getting into his chest and just kind of toppling him. Another heavy-footed athlete. So the Ole Miss game, I did see him scoop out a couple guys. The Georgia game was very rough. When I watched the Georgia game, another pretty stiff athlete as well. Not a lot of redirect ability. Not a lot of ability to defend the outside shoulder. So I was not a fan, but I did see some really raw power from Austin Barber. A nice punch, natural anchor. I thought the hand placement when it was right was good, and the grip strength was good when he could get his hands on guys. And he's tough to beat in close quarters. Another guy tough to beat in close quarters, but stiff, lack of redirect ability. I thought the leg drive in the run game was a little lacking. Some heavy feet there. Lacks recoverability and redirectability um, to protect his inside shoulder on when he has to recover back inside. Kind of a slow climber in the run game, lumbering mover. It's kind of what I got for him.
Yeah, we're just having an entire episode agreeing to disagree.
That's fine. That's fine.
Because we kind of see him completely opposite, like the
Yeah.
complete opposite. I don't
Let me pull
see
up.
a very impressive power profile with him at all. And you were talking about his strike and a little bit of a jar there, and I didn't see that, but where you saw a lumberer, I saw somebody with incredibly oily hips. He reminds me
Really?
in the run game of Ben Cleveland, who doesn't move people. He doesn't move people, but his ass is always sealed to the run lane. He is, as long as his grip holds up, which I didn't see very strong grip strength from Austin Barber, but what I did see was good core strength and a pivot to sit down and really seal those run lanes. I thought he was more impressive in the run game than he was as a pass protector. Again, we're seeing guys who kind of struggle with that outside shoulder. And that is where he struggled a little bit. Like, he got by Prince Liam and Mike Milan on an inside spin. It was just a fantastic rush. I really didn't see anything wrong with that rep, but there is a predictability in that two-hand strike that he has, and it is easy with that two-hand strike, with his inside hand being much, better than his outside hand. Guys are able to time that up and really chop on that left hand and just strike through, and that is a very quick win for them. I don't think, as you said, I think he's a smooth athlete, but I think that smooth athleticism shows up way more in the run game than it does as a pass protector, particularly when he has to really dig deep in vertical sets
Yeah.
and defend the arc. I did see that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so I didn't see a big lumbering oaf
Oh, dude.
like you
I
did, but that is struggle on the outside shoulder and the lack of people moving skills. Now, when he gets the opportunity to finish somebody, he will. He is an asshole, but physically, he is not a very dominant player. And at the NFL level, I don't know if that is going to be able to. I don't know if he's going to be able to replicate that just kind of survivability in the run game like he does at the college level.
Yeah, so looking at NFS grades on the 4 guys we've talked about so far, Bowery doesn't have a grade. They have a PFA grade on Austin Barber, a 4th-ish round grade on Tieran, and a 3rd round grade on Jennings Dunker.
Yeah, I just think that's completely wrong.
Yeah, I do too. But they have the highest grade of any of the offensive tackles that we've talked about thus far. On our last offensive tackle we're going to talk about here, they've got, looking at the grading scale here,
And we're going to disagree on
second
him
round
too.
grade.
And we're going to disagree on him too.
Okay, I wrote the pronunciation down here. Max Iheanachor. Max Iheanachor? I probably still butchered that. Arizona State right tackle. They have a 2nd round grade on him. NFS does here. They have a higher grade on him than they do Isaiah World and Drew Shelton.
Whatever, man.
I like Max. I'm gonna call him Max. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that again. He's got the best tools of any of these guys by a mile.
No, he doesn't.
By a mile.
No, he
Yes,
doesn't. He's the best. No.
He's by far the best athlete.
He's the best. He's the best in shorts. He's the best looking one in shorts. That's what he is. He is a smooth athlete. You are absolutely correct. The karaoke step is very impressive when he's pulling. He gets across the line quickly. He finds his target. His strong
foot speed's awesome too.
Huh?
His foot speed's awesome too, and he sets 45 with ease.
Yeah, the problem is he gets his ass kicked all of the time.
His core is pretty, but I think his core can be
barn door all the time too. Like, he's got the athleticism, but he still can't cut off the outside shoulder.
I mean, my notes on him are that he's pretty green on what to do with his hands and where to get his eyes.
Yeah, I don't think he's good. Like, he's a great
Uh,
again, like, this
I,
I told you, I think he is one of those, like, Pac-12 offensive tackles where he's a way better athlete than he is an actual football player. And again, I'm being really mean this episode, and I am sorry, guys. I might just need a vacation, but, like, I thought that he got his ass kicked multiple times.
oh,
Multiple.
through the chest, it's not great. It's not great through the chest. And I think he got beat along the outside. Well, it was Colin Simmons, the Texas game, and Colin Simmons might be the best pass rusher in the country. Colin Simmons cooked him along his outside shoulder too, but I don't think it's a stiffness thing. I don't think it was a stiffness thing with him losing outside shoulder. I think it was
That's what I'm saying, I just don't
a
think he's
bad
good.
landmark with his hands.
Yeah, I just
So
don't
I'm
think he's
saying
a good football player yet.
right, but like you clean up the hand. This is similar to like what we talked about. I mean, I think this is kind of where I was with Josh Connerly last summer with his hands and his core, both pretty bad. Coming into the season last year, I mean, he was getting beat through his chest like crazy. His hands were wide and all over the place. He just went in the first round. So I think like because again, I think his core can be a little more protected if his hands narrow. Like I like you clean up the hands and it solves multiple issues. I think with what we saw or what I saw in that Texas game. The Kansas State game's really good though. Like I went back and then I watched the Kansas State game and I thought that was a lot better. Again, Colin Simmons is going to get his, but at the end of the day, you would want to see him have his best football against the best players he's playing. But and that wasn't the case. Um, it's also worth mentioning that he's a JUCO kid, so like this was his first season playing FBS football as well. But I think the tools are outstanding. He's got where are we at here? He's got 34 and 2/8 inch arms as well, so 34 and a quarter inch arms. Like he's got the tools, man. 6'5" and a half, 322. I, to me, he's got the tools. He's flexible. He's athletic. He's explosive. Not a lot of punch in his hands. No power profile. You clean up the hands. I think you can kind of you see what happens with the core if you clean up the hands.
But you gotta clean up the hands, and then you gotta take his hand out of the pocket of the offensive guard because that's half of the reason why he gets beat on the outside so often.
Well,
He
yeah,
just never makes it to his step. He just never makes it there. And he's
yeah,
a great athlete, like you said. He just like has his hand in the pocket of the guard while the edge rusher is running around his outside shoulder.
yeah.
And
I mean,
I could not get by that. I couldn't get by it.
I tend to agree with much of that. I tend to agree with much of that, but I'm going to be a little bullish on the tools here. Going to be a little bullish on the tools. I gave
And
him a
it's
low
summer, so
third.
you can.
Yeah, I gave him a low third. So it's not like I came in with the second round grade or anything like that. But I think I would have him in the same tier as a guy like Drew Shelton. Same tier as players as like Drew Shelton. But
I wouldn't, but I'm
that's
just
fair.
lower on Max.
It's like OT7, OT8 ish range. Yeah.
I don't think that that's unfair.
Yeah.
From the guys that we watched, I mean, we watched 2 guys who are not rosterable. So, like
No.
so
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's do an exercise of the 10 guys that we watched. How would you rank them over the past? So this is excluding guys like Isaiah World, Drew Shelton, guys that we've talked about previously. Just the 10 guys from this past episode, this past week.
I think I think I kinda have it the way that I would have it set up and for the first 5 in my names here in my sheet. Proctor of Fano and Lomu can be kinda interchangeable for me, but I'm gonna go with Fano because of the tools. Uh, Moe Noah might be up there, but, like, for me, it's Moe Noah as a guard
Yeah.
would be up there at number 2, not as a tackle, but I can
Yep.
see it with him at tackle. Chaplin is kinda the same way, except I really want him to move a little bit better. Um, and then it is Barber, and then it is Max, Tieran, Bowery, Dunker.
Interesting. I would go Fano, Proctor, Moe Noah as a guard, Lomu, Chaplin, Max, Bowery, Barber, Tieran, and Dunker. That's how I would go. So a little difference there in those back the back 5.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And
I mean,
difference in the first 5, but, like, the first 5 are the first 5.
right. And I think it's also worth pointing out there like once you get to round 4 to day 3, literal boards come down like are so different team to team. Like teams will have PFA grades on guys that will get drafted round 4 by another team because they value that player within their scheme. So like, it's okay that we have bias because all 32 teams have bias to what they want in their building.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I mean, you said it, like, you hate tall offensive tackles. Like,
Yes.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you at least acknowledged that bias.
Mhm.
And, like, with Tiernan, like, if you're looking for a dude who has any sort of athletic upside whatsoever to develop, that's not gonna be your guy. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, like, you do have to put that into account. You have to take that into account when you are looking at potentially drafting these guys or your favorite team potentially drafting these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of offensive tackles we didn't even get to. So J.C. Davis at Illinois, Ryan Barrett, Pitt. Like there's a million offensive tackles out there. We've already talked about Isaiah Ward. We've already talked about Drew Shelton. We've already talked about Ethan Onyanwa, guys like that, doing T previews. So Trevor Gooseby, I think it's a pretty deep offensive tackle class all in all that we got here this year. So, and again, we saw a bunch of offensive tackles get drafted early last year. I think we're set for that again this year because at the end of the day, there aren't 64 good offensive tackles in the NFL, and you need 64 offensive tackles in the NFL starting. So, yeah, we haven't talked about what position we're going to do next week, so that'll be a surprise to you and to us. But that's going to be it for this week of the Depth on Draft podcast. We are now inching closer, less than 2 weeks out from week 0. So we're rolling. Dalton, do you got anything to add before you head to the beach, man?
No, nothing other than that I love you guys.
All right. Well, that'll do it. Until next week, I'm Corey. That's Dalton. This has been the Daft on Draft podcast.